Welcome back to Zoro News Channel 21. So, I'm here to back on more news. I just ate a nice little giggy gig taco. Oh my gosh, it was good. Okay, it was really good. I had cheese on it, some taco sauce, no lettuce this time. Usually I get the lettuce on it. You get tomatoes, sour cream, and all of that good stuff. You can get hot peppers on it, but this time, no hot peppers. But I'm back here with Zoro News. How are you doing? I just wanted to present some type out here. I did have some news that I wanted to talk to you about, and that's about having a place, a home. Now, this is right here good information. As much as I've been growing up, this news right here will be about Section 8, low income housing, and affordable housing. And we're going to talk about the, I think what they call it, the market rate. They have a market rate income, and then we have regular income. There are, if you didn't know, apartments as much as like 3 bedrooms for $1,000 a month, plus your gas, your light bill, um, your phone bill, your doctor bills, whatever your bills are, your car bill. So that is your insurance plus all of that. You can check it out. I've seen some apartments for $1,500. They have townhomes, they have apartment buildings, they have regular houses, 2 stories or two flat. Um, I don't know if you're looking for an apartment, but if you're going to do your research, some of these apartments can be affordable, but you might want to pick the neighborhood that you want to live in. Um, and some people have found that interesting, looking for their own neighborhoods, trying to see what kind of neighbors they want. You know, what they'll do is in the daytime, they'll go out and look and see what's going on in the daytime, and they'll come back at night and see what they're doing at night. And see, they'll kind of repeat this before they decide on trying to move into this home or apartment. Another thing is, I don't know how often they might do it. Will they do it for about a week or so, checking out the neighborhood, a month, couple of months, before they check out the neighborhood to see if that's the neighborhood they want to live in, to see what kind of neighbors they have. But um, I don't want to say the wrong thing about what they're calling these places, okay? Because you got some other homes that people are moving in, and these homes have been there for years, and they're still helpful for people to move in. I looked at a house one time. It was $700 a month, and I was looking for a home. I looked at a couple of homes. This home was only $700 a month, okay, and I think it had 3 bedrooms in it, a basement, and maybe a garage, and it had steps, front door, steps and stuff. That's $300 away from that 1,000, which can save you if your income is not reaching, or even if your income is reaching, it's not worth that 1,000 to you. But the only difference about this house that I was looking at, the floor was kind of caving in, and when people are desperate to look for a home, they'll still, because so many homes have been filled up and people weren't moving in and out of them. That's why a lot of people are missing out on Section 8 and low income, because the list is so full they can't get in. Okay, so basically, um, you have people sleeping outside, sleeping under viaducts, and sleeping, in parking lots and parks and stuff like that, different places, abandoned buildings and things like that. So that's, it's kind of rough that people have to go through those things because they can't afford housing and their income is not enough. They're not getting paid either their right pay or they're not getting enough income to even pay what today's market is asking for here. And so basically, sleeping under these viaducts, you want to say something and give them a place to stay, but you don't know what to do. And most people think that when you see these people laying out on the street, you think that they already know that there are shelters. But some of these people are getting kicked out of shelters. They're getting kicked out of shelters because these shelters are giving too many rules that are not right for adults. And I understand they need a place to stay and they have to go by certain rules. But a lot of these adults are leaving the shelters because they're rules, okay? Because I've been in a shelter and when I went to the shelter, the way that they talk to these adults is degrading. And what happens is that it's not fun. It's not fun. You have to, I mean, they'll provide you with a place to stay, they'll feed you. Most shelters will feed you. Some shelters will have you to provide your own food and everything like that. So what happens is they're giving you these bogus rules. I'll call it bogus because these are adults that they're talking to, and just because they can't afford housing or something came up for them and they are having a difficult time. You know, it's not that everybody have mental disorders. It's just that some people are finding bad luck, what they call bad luck, or they run into hard times, and they don't have anybody they can call on, so they end up in a shelter. And I talked to quite a few people. I don't have any names to bring up on it, but I talked to quite a few people, and some people, the reasons what they went to the shelter for were really interesting. So I don't know if I can come back and let you know the information on that right now, but the sad part is that people actually need a place to stay, and these people are not taking them seriously. Okay, they don't think that it's important as long as they get in their bed and lay down at night. You know, some of these people have to share rooms with strangers that they don't know. These shelters, I think they should remake because you shouldn't have to sleep in a room full of people that you don't know and their kids and then mix them with your kids. Now, I understand you might have to do that at lunchtime or because some of these shelters they offer you to go out on trips with them. They'll pay for it, get a bus, take you out somewhere, and you have to go because it's a part of their rule. If you don't, you have to get out of the building. Some shelters will let you out of the building early and tell you got to find somewhere to go, even if you don't have anywhere to go. And they'll tell you, look, well, you got to find somewhere to go. You can't come back here until 7 or 8 o'clock. And the curfew is about 7, 8, or 9, between 7 and 9 o'clock. And some shelters might be 6 o'clock. It's a curfew, and this is for adults. Now, because they can't afford it, they have to go by these rules. And I think they need to cut back on some of these rules that they're giving adults. Now, I know there are some smokers, some people who uh, you want to do adult things. They don't care about that. As long as you go outside of the building and do it in a designated area where you don't have to go and be around other people. Um, but the good thing about it is that they have a place to lay their head. Some of them offer counseling for people because some, not that they have to have a mental illness to have counseling, but it's good to have counseling. Um, Counseling is to give them someone to talk to because obviously they don't have anybody to talk to if they're in the shelter. And the people that they talk to, how can they talk to them if they didn't even have room for them? So for some people, it might be embarrassing. So that's for I don't have any names for this tape. It might be embarrassing for even the children because the children they have to go to school. Um, And sometimes, if you tell too much of people information, they want to go out, tell the people's information, and embarrass them. But and say, hey, or they find out, oh, they stay at a shelter, but they didn't know. These are little kids. They didn't know that people were going to tease them, and it's not their fault that their parent couldn't afford a place to stay, and it's all on the parent. The parent has to be able to get affordable housing, a job that's comfortable with the people that they're around or the people that they know. Because you can get a job, but if it's not the kind of job that the people around you think that you should have, then it's not good enough. So, um, you have to, and then minimum wage is good for some people, but I found that with the rent today, paying your light bill through ComEd and your gas bill through People's Gas, it's not affordable for them with it. And then, and some people are not even concerned if you like to drive, if it's easier. Like, just say you're not handicapped, but people will call you handicapped if you can't get the things that they have, because they'll if you want to catch the bus, they want you to catch the bus. But some people don't mind catching the bus. They have When I was growing up, they made the choice to catch the bus, and now, because they so-called have handicaps, they want to drive a car because they're so used to driving a car and getting around. But if they had never drove that car, they probably would just only want to get on the bus. And if nobody's driving the bus, then how can CTA or any of these buses like JPA or JPT or any of these people get paid any money if you don't get on their buses? And some people park their cars, get on the bus and the train, and go to work. That's the way they like it. So, Um, not to mention that a lot of these people in these shelters have a mental illness, and I believe that a lot of these people might not know that they have a mental illness. I've run into different people that can use extra help, and that might help them to keep their housing, because some people haven't been taught certain things. They don't know that they can go and even get counseling. So we hear about counseling through other people who have counseling. And when you have counseling, they don't think it's necessary. They think, oh, well, they're going to think I'm crazy if I go to counseling. That is not the key. The key is to get the right information out to your counselor. If you get too much information and somebody finds out you're sharing your information with them, they just might want to, get mad because you're talking to your counselor about them or something else that's going on with that area in there. So, um, I'm thinking about these shelters. Really, they need to do a little bit better, because these people are sleeping outside for a reason. If they had better rules, we can keep the people inside. Because one day it was so cold outside that people had to come in and or out, shall I say, with heaters and stuff for people who didn't want to leave the outside area. They didn't want to leave all of their belongings. They had stacks and stacks of stuff because they had got some people got put out of their homes, and that's just not nice. But they got put out of their home. I guess they didn't pay their bills, and their stuff is out there, and they didn't want anybody else to have their stuff. So they sat in the cold with a blanket, waiting to see who would come and get them. So, yeah, people, please look out for your families. Make sure they got a place to stay that's comfortable. These people are not staying outside on the street for nothing. If you're not making it comfortable for them, they're not going to stay with you. Giving people a place to stay, it's not to get revenge back on them for something that happened with you and them a long time ago. If that's what you're letting them move in with you for, you need to stop it. You need to stop it because they don't want to move in with you. Okay? They'd rather sleep on the street, which is a sad thing, because they might feel they're more in danger with you. Having your weapons in the home and all of this is what you're doing, and then you're not getting along with them, fussing and fighting with them all day, but you got weapons there all day. This is not right. But this is Zorro News, Channel 21.